with the match situation here.
Yeah.
Grischuk was down 2 games, he just trimmed it to 1. And, well, good for Sasha. One game spread, 5.5, 4.5 total match score in Magnus' favor. In this portion of the 3-2, Magnus won the 960. Grischuk wins the 3-2. And, yeah, I mean, it's been a magnificent fight thus far.
Wow, that was again, I mean, almost eerily similar to his win over Aronian, the rook ending that we actually just randomly featured as part of our pregame show. For those who have been with us for the entire going on 2+ hours, you're amazing. Thanks for watching the show today. Grandmaster Blitz Battle Championship brought to you by Indigo Capital Partners, PeopleTalk.ru, and Buron Venture Capital. Give the sponsors love. This has been amazing. Grischuk strikes back. It is still only a 1-game lead for the world champion. And we have a match, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and actually an interesting kind of thought might creep into Grischuk's head. Does he want to make the 3-minute games as long as possible to get to the bullet? I mean, I don't think, to be fair to Sasha, I don't think he's afraid at all of Magnus. I don't think...
I don't think so. I think Magnus, I think Sasha feels that he's as good of a blitz player as Magnus is. I mean, and the match says that he has good reason to think that. He's only down a game. And how many games did we see him lose winning positions?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the scoreboard, they always say the score is what matters. So the score says Carlsen is a game better. So we're not taking anything away from the world champion. But for those who have been watching the games, the X's and O's have had Grischuk not only in every game, but sometimes winning games that he lost.
Yeah, and actually, what's interesting is when we talk about super grandmasters, everyone complains in the classical chess tournaments over the board. There's so many draws. Have we had one draw this far?
We've had one. We've had one.
I mean, they're just bashing each other's heads in. They're really going at it. And
another point for online chess.
Yeah. What just happened? Oh, okay. Bishop takes d6.
Then he takes f3. So nobody's blundered. Wiz in the chat says NE4, talk dirty to me. Yep, I agree. And now we're going to get the same structure. Is he going to take with the f-pawn or with the knight this time? Okay, this time he decides to take with the knight. Carlsen going for the same sort of dubious positional structure.
It's very solid in many ways, but the problem is bishop on e6 has no future. It's just kind of it's waiting to be taken in many cases.
Yeah, I agree. And these pawns are only future targets. It's not like black is launching an attack with the space on the king side. So
a5 is a good move though, because now bishop takes a2 is actually a threat. Because then you just poke home a4.
Agreed.
And yeah, if you're black, you don't really want to take on c4 because it allows the rook to use the c5 maybe go to c5.
But you also don't love your bishop, right? Exactly.
And knight's coming to e5, making use of some of the weakened dark squares. And white's ideal in many cases to trade off these knights. This knight on c4 for this knight on f6, maybe knight e5, knight d7 trade, and play with his knight against the bishop on e6, just because the knight can maneuver a little more. And this is an idea by Carlsen to go for pawn f5 to f4 at some point. Perhaps go queen g5, f4. But f4 right now is not exactly the end of the world. So he goes over first. How does...
Yeah, he's avoiding tactics with the queen coming to b3, but... Okay, I guess I was wrong. I said those pawns were not meant to be used for attacking, but he did not read the warning label, and Magnus continues to attack.
So if knight takes d5, I mean, I'm just curious. For knight d5, if you take with the pawn,
I think
I'll go rook c5.
But I got f3.
And then I'll go queen to b3 and I'm going to win your d pawn. My king actually isn't in so much danger.
That is just so risky. I get queen g5. You have to play g3.
And I'll just go king h2 next.
I defend your d pawn, though.
Oh, you can defend the d pawn.
I don't know. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I totally forgot about this intermediate move, rook a d8. I thought you were just going for an attack.
But, I mean, you're right. We may see that line. I mean, Grischuk will win these pawns on the queen side.
And that's actually very bad for black to close down the attack there, because with my king on h2 and pawn on g3, you can't infiltrate with your queen, and I can just start making use on the queen side. And in fact, it might be white who starts attacking black in many cases.
Well, maybe queen g5 right away then. If queen but then you can just take it, and my queen's overloaded between guarding these two pawns.
Right, exactly. You get that important move in there.
Hashtag irritating.
And even white can consider trading queens with queen g4 in that case. In many lines, if your queen comes to g5, I can go queen g4 and try to get away at your pawn structure. So now rook c6 looks quite reasonable.
I'm still not totally convinced that we don't see a flip of the script here and a big attack here. But if you don't go to c6, then I would have a rook left too.
Yes.
But rook c6 is key for that purpose, not only hitting this, but also preventing black from bringing in more attackers to the king side. All right, well, we get f3. Oh, g3 runs into a double attack of the rook and the pawn.
But now rook g6, and the rook swings also from an aggressive square
to the defensive square on g3.
Yeah,
I like the way you think.
We can even consider going rook takes b6 here. I'm not sure that it's so dangerous, because if rook b6 take on h3, I can go f4. But I think rook g6, just play it safe. You don't have that much time left. What we've said round after round.
Right.
And here it is, rook g6. I like White's position.
Maxime Vachier-Lagrave saying he likes Grischuk's position, wishes he had taken on b6, says that greed is his sin. So MVL likes himself some pawns.
Yeah, and a big issue for White now is that you can't trade queens, so the rook will come to c2.
Right.
But
and maybe Grischuk will regret not having been more greedy and taking on b6.
So look at this rook coming to h1. Now I'm going to start attacking you. Look, the script has been flipped.
I don't
rook
know.
h1.
I don't know. I like black on the c file too. I mean, it looks cute. You have your rooks here, but where's the
rook's going to h5 to attack d5. My queen will come to g4. And
I know, but even there, okay, I back up to f7. You go to g4 and
watch your d pawn though, right? The d pawn is also a little vulnerable.
That might be with the line we go for, but I think without concrete threats, I'm just nervous about the c file here for black.
I think maybe rook h5, pawn to f5 for White, and just start making some progress on that side of the board. Yeah, it's really unclear.
Rook h5, pawn f5 might be interesting.
And also just sacrifice on h6 in the air at some point.
I love the sacrifice on h6. This is Magnus is not sure what he wants here.
Rook f6. Spent
a lot of time to play a move that both of us don't like. I don't know what's he doing with rook f6. Bueller. Yeah, and MVL agrees. Now White is clearly better. Did not understand that move. Rook g5. That is some sassy business. Black's pieces will forever be doomed to passively defending the d pawn. I was going to say it was queen to b3, but okay, queen h1. He wants tactics. f5. Queen comes up. Maybe he gets rook g6 in some positions.
So this is looking very dangerous.
But here comes the c file.
But if I go rook where do I go? I wasn't worried about the c file until he actually played rook c2, and now I'm worried about the c file. What is rook g3?
Yeah, I
don't get it.
I don't get it. Somebody better get it around here.
And why wasn't rook e5, for example, better? Oh, it's rook g6.
Wow, he's not afraid of the king coming out to g6. I'm afraid.
Rook e5?
Rook e5 or f5 and f6. Here comes f6.
Oh yeah, f6 is looking.
F6 looks good, right? What did Carlsen calculate about this line? I mean, Grischuk is down on time again, but
so rook f.
Can't you take g7? The queen guards here.
Yeah, you can also go.
But he has no time.
What's he
has
doing?
No time. He's flagging. Oh, he moved with 1.1 second. Got his 2 second. There's a 2 second increment, everybody. He moved with 1.1 seconds on the clock.
Well, what did he just do?
I don't know. He doesn't have rook f5 because queen g6 would have won the rook. He's shaking his head.
So he's hoping that he has enough counterplay by taking on d5. And Magnus, okay, so what if... All right, so you can't bring your queen in, unfortunately, for Magnus with rook c1, queen g1 check. Because h6 is hanging.
Yeah, but still, this is... again, 3.4 seconds makes you question Grischuk's time management, especially when... things kind of backfired there with the whole f6 plan. But
it looks like d5 is impossible to defend, so it looks like Grischuk is actually...
I know, but I mean, it's just tactical blunders are screaming, right? Yeah. I mean, when the king's on e2, there's going to be checks on all kinds of diagonals.
Yep.
Time is now getting more even, so you got to feel better about that if you're Grischuk, and we got to feel good about the fact that chess just surpassed Minecraft in terms of total viewers on twitch.tv right now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We love every one of you. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing and following. Whoa, we have a rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Are we going to see a draw? Magnus maybe bails out.
Well, you have to be very careful because both sides can lose in one simple mistake.
Whoa, that was one of the most adrenaline-packed draws we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And only our second draw in the match so far.
Yeah, and great defense by both players. I mean, it looked like at some point Carlsen was in trouble when the rooks came to h5 and to g5, and then great defense by Grischuk to pull out with what can be considered a miracle draw. It's just crazy. I mean, these players are giving it their all for the huge audience watching a B3 Sicilian by
B3 Sicilian. Is this Cyrus Lockdewalla or Magnus Carlsen? Not many players will get